Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Nisha and Jacob from Career Guidance and Adolescent Counseling Cell, Alapura. Today, I want to talk about a subject that we often tiptoe around, whisper about, or ignore entirely in our educational institutions. We are talking about intimacy, sexuality, and how the culture of silence in our schools and colleges is directly impacting the mental health of our youth. Today's article is Importance of Sex Education in Academia, written by two brilliant minds, Professor Anika Struss, a lecturer at the Department of Social and Cultural Anthropology at the University of Munster in Germany, and Professor Sudarshan Akotai of the Department of Humanities and Social Science at IIT Palakkad. As fellows of the German Academic Exchange Service, or DAD, they research the classroom experiences of teaching sexuality in both India and Germany. What they found is an eye-opener. It challenges us to look beyond just passing grades and focus on the holistic emotional survival of our students. Let's start with the hard truth that the authors bring up right at the beginning. Sexuality, intimacy, and mental health are deeply and irreversibly linked. The World Health Organization has clearly stated that when people lack bodily autonomy, the simple freedom to control the fertility or experience safe consensual relationships, immense suffering follows. But what happens when our youth brings these natural human questions into the academic space? Usually, they are met with a wall of silence. The authors point out that academia often promotes a culture of resistance and fear than informed, empowering discourse. In India specifically, we face a unique challenge. We lack proper vocabulary. When mental health is taught, it's often viewed through a strictly biomedical lens. What does that mean? It means we reduce human connection to biology and diseases, completely disregarding the sociocultural aspects of pleasure, emotional connection, and diverse intimate experiences. Even worse, the curriculum is heavily heteronormative and cisgendered. It assumes everyone fits into one specific box. As the authors highlight, this completely erases the complex lived realities of queer individuals and sexual minorities. It frames their experience not as a human reality but as a medical issue. By doing this, our educational and clinical institutions are not just failing to support these students, they're actively disenfranchising them. Even psychologists and mental health professionals trained in these very systems sometimes lacks the structural competence to initiate the transformative changes our campuses desperately need. Now, you might be wondering, is not the government doing anything about this? Actually, the courts are stepping in because the crisis has become too big to ignore. The article cites crucial interventions made by the Supreme Court. In 2024, the court emphasized the absolute need for comprehensive sex education programs to promote open discussions about intimacy. Fast forward to 2025, and the Supreme Court sought responses from the government on integrating transgender, inclusive, comprehensive sexuality education in the school curriculum. Why did they do this? The reason is that in the same year, the court had to issue pan-India guidelines to address the tragic rates of suicide and mental health issues among students. And guess what figured as a major reason for discrimination? Gender and sexual orientation. Our young people are facing immense pressure. They're dealing with heavy family expectations, societal demands, and multiple global crises. When anti-democratic movements seek to erase the LGBTQ plus individuals and promote a narrow view of what a proper relationship looks like, it isolates our youth further. The author makes it clear hiring a few more mental health professionals is just a short term fix, a band aid. What we need is to build a compassionate, diversity aware learning environments. So, how do we as educators change this? How do we break the ice on topics that are historically taboo? Author shares some beautiful practical insights from their teaching experiences in India and Germany. Addressing sensitive topics like mental health, violence, and intimacy comes with massive pedagogical challenges. It makes people uncomfortable. The author shared an experience of a workshop in Germany featuring an unconventional filmmaker, which showed just how uneasy students can feel when asked to tackle these issues head on. The secret they found is not to dive straight into heavy academic theory. If you do that, students retreat into a detached, impersonal academic tone because it feels safer. Instead, the beginning of each class needs innovative approaches. We need icebreaker exercises, small group discussions. We need to encourage students to share their personal perspectives by asking simple, profound questions like, what does intimacy mean to you? By answering questions like this, students connect the course material to their own lives. This approach fosters or helps a classroom environment built on trust, rapport, and open communication. It transforms the classroom from a piece of dictation to a community of care and allyship. As educators, we hold the power to set the tone. We are the architects of classroom environment. If we shy away from these conversations, we tell our students that their realities are shameful. Let's be facilitators of safe spaces. Let's create classrooms where diverse identities are not just tolerated but understood and respected. Dear students, your bodily autonomy, your identity, your mental health matter. Education is not just about memorizing facts. It's about understanding yourself and the people around you. Speak up, support your peers, and demand learning spaces that reflect your lived realities. Allyship starts with you. We need to unlearn the stigma. The silence we maintain at home travels to the classroom and from the classroom into society. By normalizing conversations about healthy boundaries, consent, and diverse identities, we break generational cycles of shame. Looking at this theme, I feel that integrating comprehensive, inclusive sex education is not a Western import, as some critics claim, is a fundamental necessity for a healthy India. When we empower our youth with the right vocabulary to understand themselves and respect others, we drastically reduce the tragic loss of young lives to suicide. We build a society equipped with empathy and structural competence. For India to truly thrive as a democratic, progressive nation, we must ensure that no young person feels alienated or marginalized in the very institutions decided to uplift them. Let's try to make our educational spaces safer and more inclusive. This is Dr. Nisha Jacob from Career Guidance and Adolescent Counseling, Sir, Alapura. See you in the next.